Okay. Hello. Hello. Are you still there, anyone? I am so sorry. I don't even know what time it is. I'm so late. Technical issues. Now, I do want to start by saying this. We purchased a new router, a nice heavy duty one. We have not set it up yet. That will be this afternoon's project. So I don't know whether the issue is the router, my old computer, an Ethernet cable, or YouTube. I don't know. But anyway, hi, I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I talk when I'm allowed to connect. Talk about how I lost 97.4 pounds after starting the ketogenic protocol, how you may be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life like I did. Can anyone let me know if you can see and hear me? Anybody? If you're even still here, I'll just talk. Maybe people will watch it on the replay. Hello. Hello. Let me put on my specs. Maggie Moeller writes, hi. Can see and hear. Thank you, Chris J. Okay, so today's topic, as the thumbnail indicates, is the freaking scale, except I used little, exclamation points and everything. Keto and the scale. Although many people have gotten a lot of health benefits from laying off the carbs and switching from being a sugar burner to being a fat burner, it's just human nature that if we oh, Jack's in the background, that if we're a little heavier, we want to lose weight. Some people who are already not heavy at all want to lose weight. So how do we do that in modern culture? We get on a bathroom scale. And for some of us, our day is made or ruined by what the numbers on the scale read. Janine Olson writes, your home with the fire and lavender field is so warm and welcoming. Thank you. It is a chilly, rainy day here, so I feel good in front of the fire. The scale. So I have a private support group on Patreon, and some of the patrons are no doubtedly here. Undoubtedly. And what I do every morning, I do weekday morning snippets, video snippets. They're not live. They are recorded. They're 8, 10, 12, 15 minutes long on various topics. But I always start out every day with essentially the farm report, which here means how many eggs did we get the previous day from our backyard chickens? What is the scale differential for me from the morning before? What day it is, what muscle group it is on the total gym, and what my peckishness level is. So I've been doing this for a long time. I have weighed myself virtually every day. Oh, no, you don't. The computer wants to update right now. No, you don't. That's the last thing I need. So anyway, because I've been doing the protocol for now over 11 years, and one of the patrons said, wow, that's amazing that you have a spreadsheet that you've maintained for nearly a dozen years with your weight. So I had to respond that actually it's been 24 years. I started weighing myself and keeping a log of it on December 18th, 2000. And nearly every day since then, I have logged my weight. That was before the keto days, man. Those were some rough numbers. When I was in travel status, no, didn't weigh. Or I've had a few surgeries. If I was laid up from surgery, didn't weigh because I literally was like, I couldn't get up. But otherwise, you have done it. But also what I have in my ginormous spreadsheet are things that aren't the scale. They are, I will track how, kind of a thumbnail sketch of how my day was. I even did the phases of the moon at one point because I would have idiopathic seasonal edema. I couldn't figure out why I was retaining water. I thought maybe it's the phases of the moon. Anywho, the weight fluctuates, which is why I share the weight fluctuation with my patrons every morning. I have also incorporated in my blog, link below, every blog post at the top left-hand corner, and I try to post weekly on Mondays, weight fluctuations from the previous week. because it goes like this. It's always gone like this, even when I was actively losing, because I lost like 47 pounds the first year I was doing keto. It was never a straight line. The days would go like this. The weeks would go like this because I also track weekly and then monthly and then annually. So, and I had the trend lines and all that stuff. The scale can be frustrating. When it's really frustrating is when it's telling us exactly what we expected to tell us because we know that we ate more than we required. We would like to say, I'm going to try to eat more than I require. The scale will never notice. Well, sometimes it doesn't, but usually it does. So it's no fun to have confirmation of what we already know is coming. Now, it's great when we say, wow, I followed the protocol. I laid off the carbs, and I'll be dadgum if this doesn't work. Not a straight line. And when one becomes weight stable, it's still going to fluctuate, within a range. Water retention, just for some random reason, our bodies will hold on to water for a couple of days and then the water goes away and then it retains it again. Not because we've, indulged in a lot of sodium or anything like that. It just does. Our bodies are not machines. At least mine's not. If it is, I need a tune-up. But I'm healthy. And so the weight fluctuation doesn't bother me. I measure my ketones once a week and my glucose once a week. I track all those numbers. I'm not maniacally, because my blood sugar is very good and has been. The reason I helped start this whole thing was because I didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes. And so how to not take insulin for type 2 diabetes, came across the white coat video of Dr. Eric Westman of Duke University. Lay off the carbs, essentially. And then, just don't eat if you're not hungry, which is the challenging part because we are habitual eaters, many of us. Stop eating when you've had enough, another hard part. But I have been in ketosis pretty much since then. My blood sugar is totally regulated. At my last annual, I think my blood sugar was 63. My ketones average about 2.3. I use the Keto Mojo blood meter. But the scale continues to fluctuate up and down, up and down, up and down. I am like the princess and the pea. I do not require as much food as I used to. And the difference between the amount of food, the fuel that I require, which is right here, and the fuel that would be too much is a very tiny little thing. It's a tiny, tiny difference. I just don't need that much. And okay, say that I, on average, eat 1,000 calories a day. If I eat 200 more calories, which could be, frankly, that could be a generous smear of mayonnaise could be 200 calories. That's 20% more calories than I require. So that can have an impact. So I use the scale for that. And frankly, I use the scale to share with my patrons as much as anything. But also I've been keeping the spreadsheet for 24 years. They say if you do something 21 days in a row, it becomes a habit. Well, guess what happens if you do something nearly every day for 24 years? It really becomes a habit. So but the thing is, let's not fret about the scale. Let's make the scale like number 7 of the things that are important in our lives. Maybe even number 8 or 12. Health, coming off of medications, joint pain resolution, mood resolution, not needing an afternoon nap, not having acid reflux, not waking yourself up snoring. It always embarrassed me. I would snore and wake myself up. I had so much mass on my body that lying down, I snore. I might snore, but I think it's more like a kitten snores right now. This is what I'm telling myself. But I don't wake myself up snoring very often. So let's step away from the scale. Let's think about this. The bathroom scale did not become commercially available until about 100 years ago. It was like 1924, 22, something like that, for the first commercial bathroom scales for homeowners to have. So my grandmother, my mother's mother, and she was born in 1881. She didn't know what she weighed, I'm quite sure, unless she went down to the, to the cotton gin and got on the big scale. People didn't know what they weighed. And now when you go to the doctor's office, the first thing they do, actually, second thing they do, first they make sure you have insurance. First thing they do is weigh you, no matter what else is going on in your life. Bleeding. I had sliced with a Japanese pruning saw. I had sliced accidentally, obviously, the tip here and cut tendons in my index finger. Interesting fact, one tendon is cut, but whoever designed us thought index fingers were very important because that's the only finger that has two tendons. So I can still move my finger. Anyway, I'm going in there, I'm bleeding. Go to the urgent care. What's the first thing they did? They weighed me. I said, seriously, you need to weigh me when I'm bleeding to find out? I know what I did. Anywho, we will relieve ourselves of a lot of emotional stress if we can find the level that we're okay with weighing myself. I'm okay weighing myself every day. I was having a group session with patrons the other night. We're all sitting on the screen on Crowdcast, and I weigh myself every day. Then a young person was there who said, no, that's too much knowledge for me. It's too much. No, once a week, maybe this person weighs. And then another person has two scales, weighs on both scales every day and decides to trust the one that has the lower weight. Find what works for you, or don't weigh at all. Let's go by health. Fitness. I do also have on my spreadsheet my resistance training levels and the resistance impact and how much I'm shifting. These are important things. Scale, not so much. It's a good barometer of something, but let's not make it rule our lives. And there's nothing super magical about keto. It'll probably improve your health before it changes your weight. I'm just saying. One of the first things I noticed was I didn't have any joint pain. That was after about a week. Seriously, about a week. So I noticed other things before the weight became a big issue. I didn't expect to lose weight. Okay, now, and thank you for those of you who are here. And I apologize. I do have a goal chat. Why does this keep doing this? I want everyone's chat to be available. I have a goal, 5 super chats for $2 each. And for that, if I get that goal, I'll make a behind the scenes video and publish it. But people were very nice. And last week or the week before, someone said, let's have a new router fund for Casey. Well, we've got the router. We will set it up. Fingers crossed that works. It seems to be about 10 o'clock every day if we lose connection. It's around 10, which just happens to be when I do my live streams. Anywho, what was I going to say? Oh, you don't have to buy anything to be 100% successful at the ketogenic protocol. No kits. No, you don't even need a food list. No powders, no supplements, no special water. Just lay off the carbs. But I will happily sell you a sweatshirt, a green book, a journal. It's a journal. You can see it in my blog, sidebar, green book, take you to Amazon. Or, mugs and things. And I have a private support group at patreon.com, link below, and lovely people. It's a lovely group of people. And we're all in this together. So thank you very much for that. And if you like my videos, on the times when you can actually see them, when I haven't lost connectivity, you can subscribe and give a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. It helps my channel. All righty then. Let's jump in. Good morning, Casey, writes Diane Creamer, Ginny Olson. It's snowing here in Wisconsin. Yes, so I won't complain about the drizzle. And Lisa Hasabi writes, hello, Judy Tucker. Hello, Judy. Now, Judy from Iowa is a farmer, and Judy, last I heard, had lost over 155 pounds. Now, you go and figure that out. Can you imagine being a farmer and carrying around 155 extra pounds? Wow. That is stunning to me. my own self. Sometimes I'll carry up 25 pounds of chicken feed to the chickens. They're up at the top of the hill. I'll have a bucket, 5-gallon bucket, holds about 25 pounds of feed. And I'll be walking up and I'm like, God, oh, 25 pounds. And I really don't know how I functioned 100 pounds ago, in truth. I remember I used to kind of pull myself up flights of stairs, which was a challenge because all 4 of our bedrooms are upstairs. So to go to bed, I had to hold myself upstairs, even the side porch. Everything hurt. My joints hurt. Some of it was because probably I was carrying around an extra 100 pounds. But actually, that never explained to me why my fingers hurt and my wrists and my shoulder. I didn't walk on my hands. And as I said, the joint pain resolved after about a week. And I mean, in my legs and ankles, I'm very lucky that my ankles, knees, and hips did not suffer after 30 years of supporting an overweight, obese, and morbidly obese person, including the summer of the triathlons when I was asking a lot of my very heavy body. Betty Lookabar retracted. Judy Tucker writes, thanks to all your inspiration and encouragement, Casey. Well, that makes me feel good if that's the case, but you did it. And Janine Olson writes, that's amazing, Judy Tucker and Betty Lookabar. Before keto, I was getting these dark purple marks from broken blood vessels. Not anymore. Wow. See, our bodies talk to us, don't they? They'll make, I'm a little bit sore. Wonder why am I sore? Why am I having acid reflux? Why am I having such fitful sleep? Why is my blood sugar creeping up? Our bodies talk to us. And then what happens is, just like if you've ever been in a conversation or an argument with someone, not that my lovely mate and I ever argue. If I'm making a point loudly, and if your partner says, why are you shouting? Well, because you didn't hear me the 50 times I said it to you in normal tones. So now I'm shouting. That's kind of what our bodies do. Gives us little hints, tries to talk to us, and then it starts shouting. Type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, metabolic syndrome, all that stuff, migraine, asthma. I mean, there are people who have reported to me that they have not needed their emergency asthma inhaler for ages. But if they do say, oh, that bowl of pretzels looks pretty good, I think I'll just have a few. Next day, they need their asthma inhaler. For some people, it's the joint pain. If they have carb creep, they eat more carbs or, something that they just know doesn't serve them, joint pain comes almost immediately. Bodies talk to us. The scale is not as good an indicator. No matter what the doctors want to say, get your weight down to so-and-so. There are thin people who are not healthy, correct? If you know what metabolic syndrome is, you are thought to have a higher risk of cardiovascular disease if you have metabolic syndrome. Now, I want to point this out. I've done this before. If you have 3 out of 5 situations, you are considered to be at higher risk for cardiovascular disease, CVD. If you have a large waist circumference, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high triglyceride, low HDL. I'll say it again. Large waist circumference, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high triglyceride, low HDL. What's not there? Your weight. Now, a large waist circumference may be indicative of being overweight, but what if you have 4 of those, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high triglyceride, low HDL, and you have a nice trim waist? You can have 4 out of the 5. What if you have a large waist circumference and none of the others? So don't let the scale determine. I sent out a card to my patrons probably 2 years ago. Your girth does not define your worth. How's that for clever? I used to think mine did. And Judy Tucker writes, thank you, Janine. And Colleen Sproul. Colleen Sproul made a very good suggestion that today on my live stream, she's a patron, talk about the scale and how it's not really all that indicative of all the most important things we need. Colleen Sproul writes, 3 years on the protocol, feeling great, enjoying my stable weight, and my clothes now fit perfectly for every season. Only connect with my scale maybe once a month, but I do track that. And I think that's really good. Now, I will tell you this about myself. I don't think it would be an issue now. Back in the day, when I was first starting to do this, and I would be kind of discouraged about the scale. When I was very first doing it, we didn't have a bathroom scale. I weighed myself at the gym. And I think, well, I can't get back to the gym for another 5 days. That's good. So I'll go ahead and eat something that I want today. This was in the move more, eat less, low fat days. I'll eat something else today. I've got 4 days to make up for it. And then it would be, oh, I still got 3 days to make up for it. Well, you see where I'm going with this. So then you've got 1 hour to make up for it. It never worked that way. I don't think I would have that same feeling if I said, I'll just weigh once a month or once a week. Or I don't think I would say, I've got a week before I have to weigh again. Maybe I will have some pretzels. No, I'm not at risk of that. I'm not going to do that. Although I do track everything. Data is interesting. I wonder if there's a way to tell how many active cells I have in that ginormous spreadsheet, which I created either with Windows 95 or Windows 97. And now I'm on Windows 365 subscription. Karen in Utah. It's so true. My body loves keto. I have a feeling more and more people are coming to keto, especially with all the talk about the problems of highly processed foods. Yes. A lot of people are still skeptical. A lot of medical providers are skeptical. I did a thing a couple of weeks ago, I think a live stream. People who say it's unsustainable, keto is unsustainable. Maybe it's unsustainable for them because they don't want to do it. I mean, if you have a doctor who really likes hot fudge sundaes and says keto's not sustainable, well, maybe not for you. One of my shirts, one of my things is I C and IW, I can and I will, and it's very subtle. And then I jokingly said, maybe I should make one that says M, Y, C, B, I, C, and IW. Maybe you can't, but I can, and I will. I should do that. It'd be rather salty, wouldn't it? And some people approach this by saying, okay, first of all, I'm just going to cut out all the processed foods. Good, because although all food we eat, I mean, if we're chewing raw meat, we're processing it, right? But not to put too fine a point on it. But we know what we mean. By the way, if we refer to it as junk food, why are we giving it to our kids and our grandkids and ourselves? We know what junk is. Has no nutritional value. But some of you say, I'm just going to cut out all that and clean, I'll eat through the pantry. Kind of like those patients on my 600-pound life who pack it in, the night before they're going to go see Dr. Now. Here's my last great meal. Thinking that surgery will make everything go away. Anywho, or they just eat through, I'm going to eat through the starches. I'm going to eat through the rice and the bread and the chips. And I won't buy any more. It's kind of what we did with my husband. I went in whole hog, you should pardon the expression, but I wasn't sharing with him what I was doing. I just did it. And then he saw after about 6 months, he says, okay. And he's from Colombia, South America. So don't be telling me about, I can't do this because I'm, my family's Italian or Irish or every culture, German. Every culture thinks theirs is the carb-laden society because they all are. I'm from the U.S. South, the home of Krispy Kreme, literally the home of Krispy Kreme, Pepsi Cola, moon pies, Biscuitville. Yum. Anyway, so we ate through the rice, or he did, ate through the rice, ate through the beans, ate through the tortilla chips, and then he's never really looked back. However you can approach it, bit by bit. If you titrate yourself onto keto, and you might find yourself titrating yourself off of medications. But caveat, I should have said this earlier. If you are taking injectables for blood sugar, if you're taking insulin for blood sugar and you want to start keto, you must do it under supervision, because when you lay off the carbs, guess what happens? Your blood sugar drops. And then if you're taking insulin on top of it, you become hypoglycemic. It's too much insulin. So do it with the doctor's care. Karen from Utah, my doctor sent me back to keto. So thankful. That's great. You have an enlightened doc. Judy Tucker, not just weight loss. I'm off over 10 medications, all aches and pains gone, almost 9 years eating this way, and I'm 72. I still have a hard time believing this. Okay, y'all, it's never too late to become what you would have been. That's a quote that's in the Green Book from, it's credited to, oh, I can't see it right now. I was going to show it. Anyway, it's never too late. Don't listen to other people tell you what you can't do. I believe Ms. Tucker was threatened to be fired by her medical doctor if she continued with keto. Her obese doctor. She found another one. Colleen Sproul, thanks. Great, Judy. You made it sustainable. Judy Tucker says, Colleen Hart. And Heidi Watts. Hi, Casey from snowy Wisconsin. Great topic today. Thank you. Does anyone else want to share either their struggles with the scale, or do you find that the scale still kind of rules your day? Now, so let me tell you. So every weekday on these snippets, I share with the patrons, okay, the scale read 0.2 of a pound higher this morning than yesterday morning. This week, it has been up 1.4 pounds. Then the next day, down 1.4 pounds. Then the next day, up 1.4 pounds. Then the next day, down 0.2 pounds. And y'all, if you're patrons, this morning the scale read 0.9 of a pound lower than it did yesterday morning. It fluctuates. 1.4 pounds, someone my size and my frame, that is one of the most extreme that I see. I mean, it doesn't often, there have been, it's up 2 pounds. That's very unusual, but it's more like 0.4, 0.1, up or down. If you want to see, go to my blog, look at the things, caseydurango.com, link below, and you can see the fluctuations. It's like wave patterns. So how are y'all doing? How important is the scale for you? And if it's not important at all, share that as well. Excuse me, my nose is running. I better go catch it. Nope, nobody? Okay. Well, I'm going to continue to weigh myself every day. Now, I actually had purchased a scale to take down to Colombia with me last time. My husband and I own property and have a little casita on a little finquita in Colombia. And I was going to take it because he was down there already and I was going down. I thought, I'm going to take a scale. So I purchased one. I said, I'll weigh while I'm there. And I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. It's not that important. I'll weigh when I get back. And if I'm up or down, I'll figure out the differential. Oh, by the way, speaking of things like that, the Go Keto with Casey cruise, there is, we've kind of we have them inked in, have us inked in the group, Celebrity, Eastern Caribbean, or Caribbean, however you want to say it, March of 2026. Go to my blog if you haven't already done so. Fill out or just have an interest. How many people are interested in trying to form a group? So we had a lot of fun on the one we did in 2019. We were planning on an Alaska cruise later that year. And then guess what happened? Or that next year, guess what happened? We know what happened. So I'm going to do it again. Judy Tucker, I weigh every day. Keeps me in check. You and me both. We're like keto sisters, Judy. All right. Jennifer Burrows, I weigh most every day to keep in check too, but used to let it bother me more. It is easier now, but still haunts me some days. Okay, and here's something. Dr. Stephen Finney, one of the grandfathers of all of this, I very much trust him. And the book, if you had one book that I would recommend to understand how this works, The Art and Science of Low Carbohydrate Living, you can have a link to it at my blog under resources. Very, very good. I've got a little Post-it note stuck all over it, and it's all dog-eared. But Dr. Stephen Finney shares that weight can fluctuate 2 pounds plus or minus in a day for no good reason. It's just the body finding homeostasis. So that's a 4-pound fluctuation that can happen, right? So let's not try to fret. And good for you for kind of figuring out what works for you, Jennifer. Judy Tucker, if I don't weigh, I can let heavy whipping cream and cheese ruin my weight because I will overdo it. We are keto. We are keto sisters. Yay. So thanks, y'all. Check out my Patreon group. It's a free trial. You can go try it for a week. If you like it, you stay. If you don't, you won't. For $5 a month, you get 20 video snippets every weekday morning. Even when I'm in Colombia, I do them and upload them. Thank you for the hearts, by the way. And hit subscribe, notification bell icon. And thank you for hanging in there with me on my technical issues again. So this afternoon's project, setting up the new router. And I hope that's the issue. I hope it's not some other gremlin that lives in my house. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer. Total, not net. If it's not on page 4, link below. Don't eat it. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop eating when you've had enough. And Jennifer says, thanks for the book recommendation. I'll check the link. And well, I weigh daily after I potty. No PJs and exhale. I thought about that before. Breathe out, which is funny because, of course, air doesn't weigh. Bye. Thanks. And thanks for you guys for being patient and not being haters. See you next time, I hope.